Hello and welcome to Provoking Tech. In this episode of Printed, I'm going to be going over adhesion tips with the FlashForge Creator Pro. I'm going to be discussing primarily printing with PLA because that's what I do. I don't print with ABS, mainly due to the fumes that come from printing with ABS, and I just enjoy printing with PLA more. I find it easier in general to print with. Just going to be a quick video. I kind of touched upon this issue that I had with the printer and that I overcome it by using a glass bed. But I'm just going to go a little bit more into detail and kind of illustrate exactly how I overcame that issue that I had with the printer. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see, I've replaced the standard blue sticker that's kind of like a painter's tape with a little bit rougher of a texture on the surface with this piece of glass. This is just standard glass. There's nothing special about it. It's not tempered glass or anything along those lines. And I've had no issues with it ever before. On the rep wrap, I did this similar thing. And I've only had my glass break once. And that's when I had a print that was stuck particularly well. And when I was prying against it with... prying against the glass in the part, trying to get it to come up, the glass just cracked. So that's the only time I've ever had an issue with this. I got a little bit thicker glass this time than I normally got. I don't know the exact dimensions of it, and it's kind of stuck to this right now, which I'll get into in a second. So I can't take it off to really measure it effectively. But the little thinner glass, this is a little bit tougher, so hopefully when I'm prying against it, won't cause it to crack. Now when I took that adhesive off, it did leave some adhesive, or when I took the sticker off, it did leave some adhesive on here that is very sticky. When I placed this, I actually couldn't get it back up, so hopefully I don't need to replace it anytime soon because I'm going to have to get down there with like a putty knife and pop it up and probably end up breaking the glass. So it won't be a fun endeavor. Although, on the bright side, it does allow me to not have to use those little black binder clips with the two little metal tabs that you push to get the paper in, to hold paper or whatever. That's what I use on the rep wrap to hold this down, as you can't really screw into glass or anything without the chance of it breaking. You could possibly, if someone really knows what they're doing, possibly drill a hole to put your screws. But I've never tried that. I just used the little binder clips, and that worked out pretty good. With that though, the glass is removable, so you could have multiple pieces of glass. You could take one out, set it to the side, let it cool down, so the parts are easier to come up when the glass is cool. So you can take it off immediately and immediately start your next print. So there are benefits of that, although you do have to be careful about not getting too close to your edges, as you will hit your binder clip with your print head and cause your prints to mess up. So that pretty much wraps up the glass portion of this. Now, with glass, the best thing I've found is to use Extreme Hold hairspray. The brand doesn't really matter at all, except for you just want the Extreme Hold because it gives you that extra adhesiveness on your board or on your build plate that lets your parts stick. Now, it really depends on what you're printing, how much hairspray you're going to need. If you're printing something with square holes or square corners, you want to use more. Because square corners, even with a heated build plate, will warp a little and pull up as the print's cooling. When the print's cooling, it kind of retracts a little. Your plastic will retract a little. And when you have a 90-degree corner, you have those points retracting on that very fine corner, and it puts a lot of pressure against it, and it wants to pull up a little. So using a little bit of extra hairspray will actually help along that. Just in general, I kind of spray it like that, so you can kind of see it looks like kind of like frosted glass. It's pretty white, but it's not solid white. Now, if I'm printing something with a square corner, I'll go in where I know where the corner is going to be, or kind of approximate that, and I'll do those corners a little bit extra, so I know that they're going to stick a little better. So that's essentially how I spray it, and then I would, of course, get that all. I'd do the other corner, and then I'd probably just do a little pass, just to kind of frost it, just make sure it's all covered good. But really, only if you have 90-degree corners or something similar to that, when you have a lot of pull against those points, is when you're going to need extra hairspray. Other than that, a nice little frosting will be enough. I do recommend doing it when it's off. And just let it dry. Once it's clear, you can turn your printer on, get it preheated, or just start your print. So that pretty much is the two things that you need glass. It's very simple. It's easy to clean up. Once you get your part off, you use a nice, get a rag and get it wet, and then you just wipe it. You'll see the hairspray turning white again, and it'll kind of make a film. You just wipe it all off, and then throw your rag in the sink, rinse it out, and then you can get like a paper towels or a dry rag and just dry your print surface off, and you'll be ready to apply your hairspray again. Now I have used the same application of hairspray numerous times. Sometimes I'll just do like a quick touch up where the print was, where you can kind of see the texture and get it like a nice smooth surface again. And then on big prints, I'll completely clean it and start with a fresh application. So you don't have to completely start from scratch every time, especially if you're just doing smaller prints that don't have the more extreme like 90-degree corners like I was talking about. So there you have it. Those are my tips for a pretty simple setup with hairspray and a glass plate. There isn't a lot to do. It's very simple, and I've never had any issues with prints adhering with a PLA print and using glass with hairspray. Just keep in mind you might have to do it a couple times. It's kind of a trial and error thing to get exactly how much hairspray to put. You can always go extra and then try cutting back over time, just kind of get that perfect amount so you're not wasting a bunch of hairspray, but you're keeping great prints. So that pretty much wraps up this video. It's short, sweet, to the point. There's not a lot to say because it's a very simple process once you get it done. You don't have to sit there and lay rows of tape down and line them all up and everything along those lines. So I hope this video was informative and helped you with your 3D printing, particularly with PLA and possibly with ABS too. So if you liked this video and found it informative, make sure you give it a big like. That helps the video in general and the channel as a whole. And make sure you subscribe to my channel for more great videos. Thanks for watching.